photographers, and all of you who have been Zooming, FaceTiming, Skyping, and otherwise video chatting with family, friends, and colleagues to socialize during the pandemic. And let's face it, the built-in camera in our computers leaves a lot to be desired. From continually changing the white balance to uncontrolled auto exposure, I'm not that happy with the image that I'm getting. And there's no chance to defocus the background with the tiny plastic lenses and miniature low-res sensors in webcams. We've got better cameras? Why can't we use them? So, there are devices like Blackmagic's Ultra Studio Mini Recorder or the ATEM Mini Switcher that create an interface between camera and conferencing apps. Those work for cameras that have a live HDMI out. And now, camera makers are offering free solutions. If you have a supported Fujifilm camera, the list currently includes the X-T2 to 4, X Pro 2 and 3, the XH1 or GFX models. All you need is the Fujifilm utility available for Windows and Mac OS. When the camera is connected to the computer with a USB cable, the computer identifies it as a webcam, which you can choose instead of the default internal camera. Then you can choose your lens and adjust the focus, exposure, and color settings. Acres of thanks. Now, I have had a couple of video calls since I set up the Fujifilm X Webcam app, and I was surprised to get compliments from others on the calls, particularly those whose opinion regarding image and video quality I value. Now, I think it's not just the camera, so I'll share some of my tips for video presentations and participating in conferences at the end. Let me show you how X Webcam works using the Fujifilm X-H1. Now, on Fujifilm's website, you'll find the compatibility chart, a download link, installation, and operating instructions. On a Mac, restart after installation. Now, before you connect, configure the camera, and this is somewhat specific to your model. Fujifilm's webpage has the model-specific details. On the X-H1, set the mode dial to stills. Single frame, not video. And in the menu, set the PC connection mode, USB tether auto. Now again, this is a model-specific instruction. Then set up the camera with the settings Fujifilm recommends. Auto exposure. On the X-H1, that means setting the ISO dial to auto, turning the aperture ring on the lens to A, and setting the shutter duration dial to auto. Autofocus single, that's the switch on the front. Now, back in the menu, turn pre-AF on and face detection on. Then, using USB, connect the camera to the computer. Why are there so many different types of USB connectors for the camera end? Start up your video conferencing app. I'm using Google Meet, mostly because it's easy for this demo. Permissions may need to be given, and the camera is detected. Settings Video selects if not. Again, this will be different for each video conferencing app. You'll see the Fujifilm standby slide. Turn the camera on, and the image appears. Now, I did not have any trouble using X Webcam with Google Meet or Zoom, which also showed that Sony's webcam is set up on my system. And I was able to set up a YouTube live broadcast using webcam streaming, but Skype, FaceTime, and QuickTime find only the Mac's internal camera. I've spent time with Apple's support, and we remain stuck. So if you can help solve this mystery, please let us know in the comments. The X Webcam pop-up control panel shows the current camera and software version. It's pretty simple and works as expected. There are film simulations and white balance selections. The XH1 Custom 1 is set for my studio lighting. Now, to stop the exposure from changing, use AE Lock Exposure compensation fine-tunes with a 3-stop range. Instant AF resets the focus. Now, at this point, you may decide that you'd prefer manual exposure settings. Changing or adjusting the settings requires turning the camera off and disconnecting it. Reconnect when you're set. Now, when any of the exposure settings are in manual, you won't be able to use the exposure lock or the exposure compensation, but now you're ready to go. When you turn the camera off, the X Webcam standby screen reappears. Now, it would be nice if there was a way to change this to a custom image. If you were wondering, as I was, if the HDMI output would still be live when the webcam is connected, yes it is. That's useful to monitor your image, as your thumbnail in the conferencing app may be small. You may take audio for granted, but there's no audio in the X Webcam feed. You can continue to use the internal mic in your computer, but if you are talking to a camera, the computer may not be ideally positioned. My laptop is now on a stand that's just under the lens. Video call apps do have setup screens to select the audio source, and I'm now using an external USB mic for audio, which likely improves my audio quality also. But that introduces one more wrinkle. While using the internal mic and speakers, software can manage the duplex, so there's no or little echo and feedback. With an external mic, you'll need to use earphones. I send the cable up the back of my shirt to keep it discreet. Wireless would be better. And many use the Sportscaster gamer headsets. Personally, not a fan. There is one drawback of using a camera, that's battery life. It's not so much of a problem with newer models that support USB-C power delivery, or if you have the optional battery grip. That's how my XH1 is powered. Let me extend 2 wishes: that your video conference sessions go well, and that we will soon be able to, at least occasionally, return to meeting in person. And before I go, let me provide a few suggestions to improve your webcam presentations, but of course, these are also useful tips to consider if you're just a participant. Now, place the camera at your eye level or slightly above. Your computer's built-in webcam pretty much assures that you'll be looking at or pretty close to the camera. That becomes a little more difficult with a standalone camera. You'll be tempted to look at a lot of places. The more you can keep your attention on the lens, the more your viewers will be able to relate to you. When you're looking at them, they're less tempted to look away. You don't need to be fixated. Looking away occasionally keeps some informality in your presence. So place the screen where you'll see the other participants as close to the lens as possible. You don't want to be looking away or down at the screen the whole time. Sit still. A swiveling chair is particularly distracting. And don't touch your face. Even better advice in COVID time, as it also diverts attention. Right now, it's taking me a great deal of willpower to stop from scratching my itchy ear. If you're using natural light, like a window, you should face it. I'm using my studio lighting. However, a small light like this on or near the camera, or a ring light around the lens, improves your illumination, or at least gives you a little better definition. And dress for the occasion. Make sure your clothing represents you and your brand. Don't be the person who can't be bothered to get dressed. Choose a location that provides a relatively neutral background, mostly one that's not too busy, so it doesn't distract. If you're sitting in front of a bookshelf, keep the space immediately behind you free of clutter. And check that shelves don't cut through the image in awkward places. Your books and assorted artifacts should reflect who you are. And that said, one of the reasons to use a camera is to get control of the depth of field. I really want the background to be blurred and out of focus. So position yourself as far forward of the background as possible. The more space between you and the background, the better the defocus effect. And back the camera as far away as possible. Relatively short USB cables don't make that easy. Open the iris, this is f2.8. Zoom in as far as reasonable to compose your shot. That should give you the maximum defocus effect. A glass of your favorite hydration liquid can be useful if your throat gets a little dry. Resist the temptation to clear your throat. Swallow instead. And that reminds me, because it's one of my faults, don't be afraid for a short pause to take a breath, take a sip, or just let that last thought sink in. Get that glass of water about 5 minutes before the conference starts. That's also a good time for a bio break. When your presentation time is limited, place a clock near the lens. Then you won't need to look at your wrist. Oh my, for a time check. If you are making a presentation and know what you're going to say, consider using a teleprompter. That's what I do. I write using Microsoft OneNote, transfer that to Pages on my iPhone. Presenter mode scrolls the text. I haven't found a remote control that will pause and resume, so I rehearse once or twice to get the timing just right. And you're probably going to do this solo, but there are times when having an assistant nearby can be very helpful. Well, I hope that helps with your next video call, but of course, webcam software is not a solution that works with a phone or a tablet yet. Please post your relevant questions and civil comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. There's a button below. And if you'd like to support this channel, membership perks include a private email address where you'll be whitelisted so that you can correspond directly with me. Subscribers need not worry. No content will be behind a paywall. So please choose the option that suits your needs. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.